Good evening and welcome to The Story. I'm Evan Watson. Back in February, we told you about a bill in the legislature that, if passed, would direct $10 million in state money toward the construction of the James Beard Public Market in downtown Portland. It had a lot of enthusiasm at the beginning of the session, but with just over a week until the session ends, the question is now, will it make it? That's our big story tonight. The James Beard Public Market has been a Portland pipe dream for nearly 3 decades now. But earlier this year, it got a lot closer to reality when the foundation behind the project bought a huge space for it downtown. But now they need to build out the market, and they're hoping the legislature will help foot that bill. Today, our team got a look inside the space at Southwest 6th and Alder downtown. It used to be a Payless shoe store. It's not much to look at now, but Jessica Elkin, the executive director of the James Beard Public Market, is hoping that in a year's time, it'll be a revelation.
We will have around 40 different permanent small businesses within the James Beard Public Market, everything from a full-scale restaurant to 100 square feet vendor spaces that will have everything from ice cream to coffee, produce, mushrooms, and a wide variety of different kinds of fish and meat and cheese, a full-scale bakery. So the idea is people can come in, they can buy their groceries, they can buy their dry goods, their pantry items, they can pick up their proteins, a great loaf of bread from our bakery, and they can sit and have a meal.
The space at 6th and Alder and the building next door, the Selling Building, together will make up the 38,000 square foot market, with 2 main floors, a basement, and a rooftop space if everything goes to plan. But that plan costs about $25 million. Elkin says they're raising money from public and private sources. This week, they got an anonymous donation of $500,000 and another $500,000 from Regions Blue Cross Blue Shield and the Cambia Health Foundation, each. The new Portland City Council also voted to allocate $1 million of city money toward the market. That money just passed in the city budgets this week. Elkin says it's a vote of confidence from private donors and city leaders who want to see the market help revitalize downtown Portland. She says she thinks it'll make a big difference.
I think public markets have a history all over the world of being catalytic economic development drivers. So when I think of public markets, whether it's in Seattle, which has an incredible public market, Pike Street Market is a legacy project. It's Seattle's soul of the city. That has such a huge economic impact for the city of Seattle. Roughly 20 million people a year go to Pike Street, over 200 million in economic impact from having a Pike Street Market. When I look to cities like maybe a little bit similar to us is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Wisconsin has a market that's about to celebrate its 20th anniversary. That market has revitalized the 3rd Ward of Milwaukee and has become, again, somewhat of a soul of that city.
Elkin says she knows downtown Portland has grown a reputation for safety concerns, but she thinks the market can help change the scene.
That the more people that are coming downtown have things to go to where we can increase foot traffic, the more we will experience a shift in how people feel in being downtown. I'm downtown all the time. I feel like we have seen a huge amount of change over the last couple of years, even the last couple of months. And again, it's like we have to bring people downtown again. We have to make downtown feel like it is accessible to all people and that people have things to go to.
Downtown Portland State Representative is also hoping the market will help out the city. Representative Shannon Isidore is the sponsor of House Bill 3377, which, if approved, would infuse the market plan with $10 million from state lottery bonds. The money would go toward the construction costs for building out the market. But right now, that bill is stuck in the Joint Ways and Means Committee, and the session ends in just 9 days. Elkin says she thinks there's still hope that it'll go to a vote, but if not, she'll be looking toward the short session next year. Representative Isidore told us today, "I've been working extensively to ensure the state supports this project. While there are still some steps ahead, the momentum behind this project is real, and it couldn't come at a more important time." Elkin says they're hoping to have the market open by summer of 2026, a year from now. She's calling it an ambitious and urgent timeline. But if it happens, she says, the entire state can benefit. Everyone from farmers and food producers to locals to tourists.
We want people from across Oregon to see this as a place that they can connect to. They go onto the website once we're open and they say, what's happening at the market today? There's a cooking class, there's maybe a cookbook reading, maybe there's some kind of public art viewing. These are the types of things that happen at public markets. It's more than just enjoying a great meal or doing your shopping. It's also about intentional community placemaking.
So what do you think? Would you come visit the James Beard Public Market? Will it help downtown Portland? And do you think state money should help pay for it? Send us your thoughts, the story at kgw.com, or leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. James Beard, by the way, was a chef from Portland, and earlier this week, the awards ceremony in his honor, the James Beard Awards, celebrated chefs and restaurants in Chicago. It's sort of like the Oscars of the food world, that celebration in Chicago this year. And we need to give a big shout out to Portland bakery Jinju Patisserie, who came home with the James Beard Award for Outstanding Bakery.
And the winner is?
The winner is, wow, it's JJ.
Jinju Patisserie.
Jinju is in North Portland on North Williams and Mason. And for their first day open after winning, the line stretched out the door and down the block as fans waited for their favorite treat. They make everything from pastries and cookies to cheesecake and croissants. They've been open since 2019, and they were nominated last year for the award, but this is their first win. They say it's a labor of love.
Well, this is our love.
This is our passion,
yes.
you know, that's what we love to do. So that's why I think it worked really well. If we just doing for just a business, probably never gonna work out. I think this is kind of our things, this kind of things in our blood.
And I think that, you know, one of the customer made a comment on our social media yesterday that she said that she actually can taste our love. And sorry, I don't, that meant so much because we try to really show our love and share our passion of our love for each other and our passion for pastries and baking and working in our industry as a good role model for many kids who are studying pastry art.
Yeah.
They added that seeing the long lines outside the shop this week made them feel a bit anxious, knowing that not everyone is going to get exactly what they want if they run out. Now that the popularity has grown, if you go over to the shop, they ask you to be patient. By the way, there were 6 Oregon finalists at the James Beard Awards this year. The Oregon Health Authority is appealing an order finding the state in contempt for taking too long to admit people from jails to the state hospital. The order delivered by a federal judge this month opens the state up to serious fines. $500 per person per day every time someone waits in a jail cell for more than a week after being found too mentally ill to stand trial. Oregon has struggled to comply with the law for decades. A similar ruling in Washington forced major investment into the state's mental health system a few years back and ended a similar problem of mentally ill defendants waiting too long in jail. The Oregon Health Authority says it would have to cut staff members and introduce pay cuts to pay these fines. Governor Kotek, in her initial response to the contempt order earlier this month, said the judge ran out of patience with the state.
Being fined on a daily basis is not the best use of taxpayer dollars. I am working hard with legislators to finish this session with key investments to help this population, both at the state hospital for better evaluation and more flexibility, but also community-based placement. I have a significant ask in for additional secure residential capacity in the communities for folks to be not in jails and not in the state hospital, but somewhere else where they can get the appropriate care.
Based on initial court filings, OHA says it racked up $38,000 in fines in just the first week following the order. The agency is asking the judge to delay the collection of fines until the appeal is processed. Fines to that scale are significant, of course, and they're even less than what Kotek projected.
We are estimating anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 a month in fines. assuming we don't continue to make the progress we need to make.
The lead plaintiff, Disability Rights Oregon, says it will contest any appeal, and it supports the judge's contempt order and fine structure as a way to force change. When we come back, we hear from families dealing with the ramifications of President Trump's orders on gender identity, what one woman says happened to her passport while she was out of the country, and the potential trouble it could cause her. On day one of his current term, President Donald Trump signed 26 executive orders. One of them directed the State Department to require all government-issued IDs, including passports, to reflect a person's gender assigned at birth. That's causing chaos for the transgender community. One of those people on the receiving end of a mismarked passport is Cassidy Robertson. She's from Idaho, but she's been living in Austria for the past 9 years. Brian Holmes has her story.
I think it was fine. Everything that I heard.
Distance.
When we talked, it was fine.
Can help give perspective.
As things were happening, I'm sure.
For Mark Robertson, his daughter's coming of age.
Are you gay? Are you this? Are you that? Or whatever else. And she had to figure that out.
Was more about coming into her own.
And I think just she was trying to figure herself out at that time. We as parents were trying to give her the opportunities, be as objective as we could be about things. And just kind of let it unfold. But we were fairly ignorant.
Cassidy Robertson recognized who she was when puberty hit.
In my particular case, I realized that there's just some part of me that did not feel aligned with the changes that were occurring in my body.
It would take a few years, but for Cassidy, it wasn't really a transition.
I think it was less a matter of this is who I am, and more just realizing this is, or who I already was. So more a process of expressing myself in ways that felt more natural to myself than a matter of reinventing myself or discovering a new me.
That expression took hold in college.
At U of I think that's when she knew this is what I am, this is who I am, this is what I want to be.
And for her family, there was also an adjustment.
It was difficult with the name change. It was difficult with pronouns.
A process Mark believed was being mirrored in society until it wasn't.
I think there was a gradual movement toward acceptance. Same way with, being black in the 60s or 50s, being gay in the 80s and 90s. I think there was that gradual move. I think we took a tumble in the last few years.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies. Ooh.
So when President Trump took office in January, and he made that executive order on day one, proclaiming two genders.
Yep.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
How'd that hit you?
Immediately there was a worry.
Worry? Because where are you in Austria? Distance.
I'm in Graz currently, the capital of Styria.
Can also make things difficult. You see, Cassidy's passport was expiring in May, so she applied for a renewal in April. So when you got your passport back and you looked at it, what did you see and what did you think?
I saw an M and I thought, well, dang it, they did it. They really did it. The nerve.
But that had to bother you a little bit, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, on the one hand, there's all of the potential, like, logistical, legal, and like all of those issues that it can bring up. But also just on a personal level, it just feels, discrimination just doesn't feel good. I have not necessarily been singled out, but I belong to a group that has been singled out to be the object of just cruelty. Like, this is a cruel act designed to push people like me out of public spaces to essentially make living in society just that little bit harder.
Okay, so like coming home, how's that going to work?
I mean, that's the question. Now, I have a passport that identifies me as male, which doesn't match my appearance.
And it doesn't match any of Cassidy's other documents. Her Idaho driver's license, her Colorado birth certificate, even her old passport, all identify her as female.
And that's certainly a thing where border control agents, they check pretty closely. I've already, like, traveling with a female passport, been pulled aside several times after the body scans.
It already sounds like it's pretty invasive and a little bit awkward. This just seems like it's going to make it worse.
That's probably how it's going to go down. I want to be able to visit my friends and family. I want to be able to go to the country where I am a citizen without fearing repercussion.
Her dad?
These are life-altering decisions that she's made. She's been brave enough to make.
Calls it?
And now someone else
bully tactics.
Is changing that for her without her consent. And I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's right.
He even wrote a letter.
So it starts off, my name is Mark Robertson, a constituent in your 2nd District of Idaho.
Hoping Idaho Congressman Mike Simpson might be able to do something about it.
This miscarriage of justice does not make the USA a better, safer, or more compassionate nation, and is a far cry from where we as a country need to be.
Because even from a distance, Mark hopes he can help his daughter.
And frankly,
like she helped her dad.
She led the way. She taught us about differences.
All those years ago.
That's why it's important to me. This is her life, and she should be able to smile and live it every single day. And these rules, this ideology, this thought is preventing her from doing that. And as a parent, it just crushes me.
About 8 months ago, we introduced you to a woman fighting terminal breast cancer who has a special talent as a portrait photographer. Now Danielle Rogers is getting a public showing. Tim Gordon takes us along.
Wow.
At the Hillsborough Public Library,
My goodness.
there's something special on display.
Mind-blowing.
An art exhibit that draws you in.
This is some great artwork, and it's amazing how these are like real people. Boy, this is an amazing one here.
Danny Mosley sees a lot in this portrait.
It's amazing how creative people can get in their artwork, and
this one.
A flying angel or something.
And this one.
My goodness.
All with something in common.
Every one of these women have breast cancer, huh? Wow.
Oh, look.
And for Rebecca.
She's looking at you. Yeah?
Here with her young son,
Yeah.
the photos touch her heart.
My mom passed away of stage 4 liver and lung cancer. Both my grandmothers had breast cancer and had to have mastectomies. I think that fighting cancer, it puts you in a warrior mind frame.
I knew I had something here. There you go.
The Warrior Women portraits,
Yeah.
taken by Danielle Rogers.
Love it. I mean, look at that.
We visited Danielle last November at her home with husband Mike and daughter Brianna. She'd recently learned her breast cancer had spread. Doctors told her her illness was terminal.
I don't know how much time I've got.
This is real.
I am doing okay.
Danielle finds strength from loved ones and from what happens at her portrait studio. Here, the power comes out.
Let's go green.
With all the makeup and props, cancer survivors like Wendy and Carrie dress the part
Love it.
Ooh, look at your little bling blings.
Okay, pretty. You look super, darling.
and release
Give me mouth pain.
their warrior within.
Wow, nice.
It's as much about the process
There's one pose I want to do for you.
as the portraits themselves.
Perfect.
Well, I've known Danielle for a couple years now. I mean, our diagnosis was a month apart.
There you go. I don't create the strength. I don't create the beauty. I showcase it. So it's already there. I love you. I love you too.
So yeah, this is amazing.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, just being able to see everybody.
It's what's behind the images on these library walls.
How you doing?
And on one evening,
You're just like, oh my gosh, fantastic. Kind of overwhelming, to be honest.
a gathering
Thank you
for the artist.
for coming. Today we're just kind of doing a reception, getting a bunch of people in the community to come out and take a look.
And here I am with all of these beautiful, phenomenal women.
Striking images of breast cancer survivors, warrior women.
In society, we need that, letting women look strong and be okay with it, right? And they are.
Open to the public, with women in the breast cancer community here to support
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Your hair looks beautiful.
It's great.
and see their portraits on the wall.
This is Cassie. I got to do her makeup when we were in San Francisco. Yeah.
Wendy's here, recalling what it's like to be vulnerable while building power through the portraits.
There's no ego in any of this. It's power and strength and resilience, and it's just pretty damn remarkable.
I love how the light hits Wendy, like her face. You couldn't have been like any more postured, like strength, like right, and just been like, this is how it is.
Empowering.
I just finished radiation when we did that.
Yeah.
But how it is
It's just like what we have to do, right? We just
is so often not easy.
And, you know, everyone tells you you're a warrior and you're a fighter when you're going through cancer, but you don't really have a choice. You just
Sarah says you're just trying to survive.
And so to have an opportunity to be strong on purpose,
right,
and not in treatment was a really powerful experience for me.
How do you determine?
The reception, also a time for asking questions and hearing from Danielle. The seats were full, so were the hearts. The reality is, plenty don't survive the cancer they're fighting.
And then also the children, you know, they get to see their mom really strong and give them permission to feel the same. Oh, honey, come here. When she said she was Amy's daughter, I am so sorry. Yeah.
Amy fought off breast cancer only to have colon cancer take her life just a few months ago.
She passed away this April
and her picture is up on the wall, and she looks so strong in it.
Daughter Lucy came to see her mom's strength, a warrior's moment captured in time.
It's nice to see her, but it's hard too. So, I'm glad she got to take the photo before she was gone.
So I wanted to come over and see how you're doing.
It's all part of the complexity of life.
Yeah.
Especially dealing with a disease that so often shows no mercy.
Yeah, 100%.
For Danielle,
Yeah.
it has shown some mercy for
I was
now.
just telling the news.
A new medication seems to have worked, clearing out most of her cancer. What's next?
We're just going to keep on.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But this is a good night.
Major success. I mean, it was all right. Like I tell everybody, I was having a great hair day. Come here. Yeah, it's amazing.
What a strong story. That is the end of our show. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great evening and have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next time.